My fellow public servants in the legislature, this is a list of 1,265 people who've humbled themselves out of desperation to come to my office and ask for their tax refund. I provided this list to your offices with the names redacted along with this message. I'm sure you've seen many of these people in your offices as well. On the forms that these people fill out, they leave a reason why they're begging for their own money. And here are some of these reasons. Relocating with family to New Jersey to assist mother during cancer treatment. She is alone and I'm her only child. Help for my sister-in-law's baby, whose surgery is at the Philippines, Manila, for hydrocephalus. To help my daughter pay for her medical treatment and help her purchase a ticket to come home to Guam. My wife and I want to fly to Hawaii to attend my grandfather's funeral. Without our refund, our trip will be impossible. For medevac to Hawaii heart surgery. Need to go to the Philippines for cardiac care that is not available on Guam, according to local Guam doctor. Senators, these people with these heartbreaking stories are not asking you for any handouts, but they are begging for their own money. Now, you've been asking many good questions during the Special Economic Service meetings. It is because of your concerns and the good points that you made that my fiscal team adjusted the bond borrowing proposal. Rather than paying $280 million in tax refunds, as we originally proposed, we now restructured the plan to ensure that even the current year's tax refunds are paid next year. If you ask whether you should trust my judgment in this matter, I offer you this. In the 2 years that I ran the Finance Committee, you trusted my judgment, and together we delivered the only surplus budgets over the last decade. In the 3 succeeding years, you asked for my assessment of revenue projections, and I told you what I thought would come true, and I was right. I've never given you any reason to believe that my judgment on the fiscal affairs of this government is somehow inflated or wrong. As a matter of fact, my record will show sound judgment. Senators, some of you have already come forward to oppose my reorganization plans to cut costs. Some of you say we don't need to cut spending 10%. You also say publicly that we need to pay the tax refunds. As a matter of fact, you've chastised my fiscal team, asking them why there's no cash to pay the refunds at the level you appropriated. As though they could go to the Bank of Guam and start printing money. I'd like to ask you this simple mathematical question. If we don't cut spending, then where will we get the money to pay tax refunds moving forward? And this certainly doesn't include the $280 million bill that we already owe the people of Guam that has accumulated over the 20 years of decisions to not downsize this government. My dear colleagues, time is running out. If we are to pay the people their past due refunds by December this year, then I must appear before the rating agencies by mid-September. I can only appear before them if you give me that authority to float this bond for the tax refunds this month. While I understand this is not a perfect solution, and there are other obligations we wish we could also include, this is the only solution on the table right now. And it's not just us, the leaders, who are running out of time. Go through that list that I sent you, and you just see how many of our people are running out of time as well. They're running out of time to pay their mortgage or their rent before they get evicted. They're running out of time to pay their bills before the collectors take them to court. They're running out of time in their lives as they face terminal illnesses they can't afford to treat. Many of them already have run out of time. We must act now. I beg of you, pass the bond at the level of $311 million for tax refunds. Pay the people their own money quickly. If we pass this bond with the budget before August 31st, then we'll be able to pay the refunds by Christmas this year. I have been more than transparent about the fiscal affairs of this government and my stances on these issues. Please come forward and publicly declare whether you support the passage of this bond so our community knows what our future will look like come Christmas. The power is in your hands. Thank you, and God bless you in your decisions.